Peace and love, Bubbles here. This is the Random Bubbly Love Show. Y'all, I got some messages that I want to share. Let's start off by saying a bar that I wrote. But I cannot afford to lose myself. No matter what, gotta stay true to yourself. Yo, when I tell you, when I tell you, if you come into my show tomorrow at the Delancey, you're going to hear that full song. But I just had to share those lines because everything is just coming like full circle. So it's Aquarius season right now. And before I came on here, I felt called to read my it's called Modern Witchcraft Book of Astrology, your complete guide, empowering your magic with the energy of the planets. So basically, there's a section on Aquarius, right? And I want to share how everything is coming full circle, especially like individuals that I've been talking to and things that they're going through, similar things that I have been feeling, and how the planets have to do with this energy. And then also just all of the alignments, all of the connections right now, right? So under Aquarius themes in this book, page 35, if you have it, read along with me. It says, driven by his nature to be free and original and need to break away from old ideas and narrowing perspectives, Aquarius seeks to benefit humanity at large while maintaining individuality, and thus will break ties with anything that limits his ability to be himself. Bruh. Let's do it one more time. Driven by his nature to be free and original and to break away from old ideas and narrowing perspectives, Aquarius seeks to benefit humanity at large while maintaining individuality, and thus will break ties with anything that limits his ability to be himself. Bro, what was the bar I just said? But I cannot afford to lose myself. No matter what, gotta stay true to yourself. Big energy, big energy. The big energy right now is literally breaking old habits, releasing old things, right? Coming into yourself. So a lot of us, there's a lot of feelings and emotions going on right now. Like the world is, it's heavy. It's real heavy stuff going on. And that translates into how we're showing up in our lives and what we're expressing and the way that we're expressing, right? So essentially, there's an energy happening collectively right now where we're getting closer to who we know ourselves to be. And instead of that masked version that we have created for society because of all of these expectations and things that we think that we're supposed to be and where we're supposed to be, all of that is like the veil is lifting. All of that is shedding. The skin is molting. It is the year of the snake. So, oh my God, come through, spirit, come through. It is the year of the snake according to like Chinese astrology. And essentially a snake, I always love snakes because they represent transformation, because snakes, they shed their skin, right? And then they leave their old skin and then they start anew again, and they continuously do that throughout their lives. And what's interesting is that symbolizes the growth that we have during our lives as humans, and all of the deaths that have to happen, because in order for new us's for new versions of ourselves to be born and reborn continuously, old parts of us need to die. Like the old version of you cannot go to where the new version of you is going. And I believe that's one of the most challenging things to do, is to let go the old version of you. Yes, it is challenging to let people go, like others, like relationships and friendships and family ships, like all of those ships. It's challenging to let those go. But what I find is one of the most challenging things is to let you go, is to let an old version of you go, something that you've known for so long, something that feels so comfortable to you, something that feels like home because it's so comfortable and comforting, right? So it's challenging to let those parts go. And then while we're trying to let those parts go and step into the new things, we end up reflecting and meeting others that remind you of old versions of yourself. And it's challenging because you see you in them. You see you in these people. So it's challenging to just be like, you know what? I used to be like that. I used to go to those type of places. I used to think like that. I used to eat that. I used to, consume the type of energies that this reflection is doing. So you know what? Let me be compassionate and let them in my life. That's where you're going wrong. That's where you're going wrong. It's because it's trying to show you a reflection of yourself. And it's like, if the new version of you is no longer okay with that, no longer thinking the same way, no longer eating those same foods, no longer consuming the same things, then the challenging thing that you have to do is you have to start to put a boundary, right? Because not everybody deserves access to you. That's one of the big messages today as well, is that not everybody deserves access to you. So if the old version of you doesn't deserve access, right? Like, okay, if the old version of you is not allowed access into these new doors that the new version of you is opening, then people that you're seeing that is reflecting the old version of you is also denied access. Access denied. Access denied. I gotta write that down because I just got this message. Oh my God. Okay. Access denied. Access denied. Access denied. We have to tell the old versions of us access denied. So as you're telling that new version of you access denied, and those new doors that you're walking through, these new opportunities, these new possibilities for your life, then people that reflect that old version of you is access denied as well. And that be challenging because it's like, again, especially when you have like a big heart and you're compassionate and you're empathetic and you're like, yo, I know what you're going through. I feel what you're going through. But at the same time, you don't want to feel it so much that now you start to become that, because guess what? Birds of a feather flock together no matter what. So if you can see the divine in somebody, but if they're still at a certain place, then you have to set boundaries. And that can be challenging, yes. But remember that it's connected to self-love and loving yourself so much that you're not allowing certain things in your space anymore. Because guess what? Let's just say I just got this like idea, like this vision. I forgot how you say it. Like, not theory, this analogy. English words be confusing to me. So this analogy, right? I just seen in my mind, like, say if you're a person and you have like a bunch of money. Let's use an easy example. Let's say you're in a room, right? And you just have a bunch of money. Like, you literally have like piles and piles of money, and you have like gold and jewelry and silver and all of these precious gemstones and jewels, right? Like, you got this room and you chilling in there. You living, you know what I'm saying? You got your throne, you got your crown on, you got your silky fabrics and all that. You looking fly, you looking real fly. And then let's say you having a party, right? So the first few people that you let into the party, they also got their throne on, they got their silk, they got their scarf, they even come with a bag of their own money or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's written all over them. They come in and they good. So y'all chilling. Let's say if like another person ends up coming in the room, right? And this person is like, now this sounds like a funny example, but just stay with me. I'm just getting the vision. I'm just the messenger. So now this person comes in and they just got rags on, right? They got rags on, and then they start coming in and they got rags on. And then they're coming in and then they're asking like, oh, can I party with y'all? Like, you know, I just want something to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just need a little bit of money so I can get something to eat. So you having a big heart and you know you got all of this, you know, stuff around you, you like, of course, like, yeah, come in, no problem. Like, take a brick of gold. You can have a brick of gold. Like, shit, you want 2 bricks of gold? Here you go. Right? So now that person is chilling with y'all, and then they like looking around like, damn, like they're not even used to this. You know what I'm saying? But then you know what that person go and do? They go and call their mans and them. They go call their friends. They like, yo, I found this spot. It got gold around. They got money around. They got da 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 da, right? And then they start calling their friends. And let's say, like the way that I'm thinking about it is like when they call it their friends, it's like demons. It's like demon time, like vampires, like vampire that just suck your blood and don't know when to stop, even when they got what's the suffice amount to let them live, but they just that vampiric energy. I think that's a word, vampiric. So they call they mans in them. Now they mans in them pull up like 20 deep, right? They pull up like 20 deep. And they come in and they like, hey, they got their rags on, whatever. And they like, yo, can I get some money? Can I get some money? And then and then you like, I'm like, you like, shoot, you called your friends, and then they like, I'm sorry. And then you like, you know what, it's all good. Like, I'm abundant. Like, it's all good. Y'all could come in too. No problem, right? Now, you give these 20 people like bricks of gold and shit too. You like, yeah, you could rock. Like, I'm abundant. I'm good. Like, you know, you need it. It's all good. All right, cool. Then what happens is, but unbeknownst to you, I always like that word, unbeknownst to you, while you partying and shit, you know, dabbing, whatever, willy bouncing, while you doing your dances and chilling and shit, you don't know that these 20 people that just came in, maybe not the original person, but the 20 extra demons that just came in, you don't even know that they stealing more gold from you. Even though you gave them some gold, they're stealing more. Like, they're stealing more when nobody's looking. They're stealing more gold. They're stealing more gold, right? All 20 of them is doing that, by the way. All 20 of them is doing that, right? Cool. You know, sunrise come. It's like, it's time for people to get out. It's time, party done, right? So everybody leaves and shit. Remember, it was your crib. So everybody leaving. Whatever. So they leave. And after everybody leave, you start looking around in your crib. Like, you start looking around like, I know I gave away some gold and stuff, but it's looking real slim. Like, you're like, I didn't give away that much, did I? And then you just looking around, and now like shit is just looking real slim. You don't got all of these bunches of golds all around anymore. And you're like confused, like, how did, like, I gave away some stuff because I was in overabundance, right? And now like my shit looking slim, son. Like, and then you put together, because you did a meditation, you put together that basically these dudes just stole from you and shit, right? The demons, the vampire energy, they just stole from you. So you like, damn, son, I was just trying to be nice. End story, Finn. I need to make short stories. So that's the short story of how you could try to be great to people and try to give and shit like that, right? Because your cup is overflowing, which is an amazing thing to be able to give and to help people, right? But remember, what happened with those 20? First of all, what happened with that one person? Okay, they took, but then they called their mans, they called their friends, right? They couldn't even just accept it themselves. They was trying to like, also, I mean, they was trying to share it, but still, the 20 people, let's just talk about the 20 people. The 20 people came in, you gave them a brick of gold. They are good with a brick of gold. They didn't have nothing. They had rags on and all of that. You gave them a brick of gold, and they had the nerve to steal from you, the audacity to steal more than what you gave them. And now you looking around and shit looking slim. And you're like, but I tried to give to you, and you try to take more from me. And again, that's that vampire energy. So it goes back to discernment. So this whole story, Aesop's fables, the moral of the story is that it is amazing to be giving, right? It's amazing to be giving to people who take it and they will be appreciative of it, and they won't try to like ask for more and like suck and vampire onto you and leech onto you and in your energy, right? But then there's some others that you may give to that may try to just take more. And it's an energy thing, right? Sometimes people, what I realize is that sometimes people are so under that spell and that energy, that low vibration, that they don't even understand what they're doing. They don't even realize what they're doing, how they're just taking from you, how they're just sucking and leeching off of you, right? But it becomes very real when you no longer have these people in your life and you start to see that room that was abundant, full of all of the golds and the precious jewels and the silver and all of that. You start to see it get bigger again. And then you like, well, dang, what did I change? Oh, you know what? I took these vampire energies, I kicked them out. I kicked these vampire energies out. And the thing is, what I've learned is that these vampire energies is not always going to have fangs. It's not always going to have, you know, the Dracula cape or whatever, right? So what I'm essentially saying is that they're not going to always look like vampire energy. They're not always going to come off that way. But it's a mask, it's a disguise, right? Because the energy is that they always want to take from you. They always want to leech onto you. They always want to, you know, the people that it's like you try to help them, but it's always like something negative is going on, or even if something maybe not that big is going on, but they're finding like all of the negatives like with it, right? I had a vision like the other day of like this other analogy, and it was just like how the human mind works, right? And the human brain, right? Let's just say like lack mindset versus like abundant mindset. And it's like an abundant mindset could be in a room, let's just say with a couch and a TV and a refrigerator, and they're like, yo, I'm good. Like I'm so grateful for this roof over my head, for a place to be able to lay, to sit down, to rest, for the food that I have in my fridge, for all of these things that I have, right? Then versus like lack mindset, you be in a crib with a TV, a couch, I don't know why rooster just came to me, but you got a rooster over there, you got a fridge, you got a bed, you got some statues, you got all of these things around you, and you're like, I don't have nothing. Or even just that idea of like having a full closet of things, like just mad shit, and you're like, I don't have anything to wear. And it's like, you have a bunch to wear. Like, open your eyes. Open your eyes. It's right in front of you, right? So the idea that we have what we need, the idea that it's not our obligation to just be giving out handouts to people that don't deserve the shit, right? Like, you have to, in order to get access, remember the story that I just told about like how you're in the room with all of those doors. Remember, that person has having a party and had to invite those people in. And remember, initially he was inviting those people in that also was where he was at in abundance. I used money and gold and jewels and stuff just as a realistic like example, right? As a realistic example, but abundance is also like a mindset as opposed to just like physical things, right? I'm gonna read what you said, Sean. Hold on, let me take a sip of my tea. We sipping on Damiana today. Okay. You said, any thoughts on trauma bonding with a person, thinking there is a deep connection, but it's based in pain and they don't do any healing work? Ashe, I appreciate you asking that question, because You want to know? I got a lot to say on that topic, because like the truth is that I've experienced that a lot, and shit, I've experienced it very much so recently. So let's talk about it. So trauma bonding, right? All right, cool. So trauma bonding really connects with let me take a deep breath. Cause where do I start? I have so much to say. Okay. So essentially trauma bonding is when, you know, you may have like a trait that is not exactly healthy for your well-being, and then there's this other person that has the trait as well, and then, oh, okay, you know what, let's just use this example. I'm gonna just use real examples. All right, so let's say you just got out of a relationship that, and the person broke your heart or whatever, right? Like you're mad sad about it, like they did you wrong, then you meet another person that also was heartbroken, and they person did they wrong, like at least from their perspective and stuff, like, you know, they're hurt after the relationship. Then they meet each other, and they're like, and then they start connecting and they start liking each other, and then like, oh my gosh, like what, you went through that in your relationship too, let me tell you what I went through in my relationship. And now y'all start to bond over that brokenheartedness in the relationship, right? And what tends to happen is that there grows like this unhealthy attachment between those two individuals, because the basis of what you were connecting on was trauma to begin with, right? And that is one example, but it can even be like, say if there are unhealthy habits within your life that before you met this person that you're trauma bonding with, that you realized that you wanted to release, right? Let's just say smoking. So let's say that you stop smoking, and then you met this person that does smoke and that doesn't find anything wrong with smoking. So now y'all hang out together, and eventually you start smoking as well. And again, that energy of like what I was talking about earlier is that you're reflecting this person, because you're like, yo, well, I used to smoke a lot, so like I'm not going to judge this person because they smoke a lot, even though I know in my own journey that I was told from the Most High that lives in me that I don't need to be smoking right now because it's not serving my highest good. But you know what, in order to bond with this person, you're not saying this consciously, it's happening very like unconsciously, or subconsciously. And it's like, you know, you're bonding with this person through things that you used to do, because the truth is that we all want to connect with people. We want to connect with others. That's the reason why we on this earth, is to connect with each other, right? But it's about who we're actually connecting with. There was another thing that came, and also so it's literally like what I was saying earlier about seeing an old version of you in someone, and wanting to let it in, letting it to gain access, but you don't need to let, but if you let that energy gain access, then you're going to end up falling back into old habits. Now, let's just say that you're having trauma bonding with maybe a habit that you didn't realize was unhealthy. That's why it's so important for us to do our shadow work, our inner work, and consistently like journal and meditate and truly look at ourselves in an honest way, in an unbiased way, like from our higher versions of self, that's not like stuck in the ego and being like, oh nah, you don't like say for instance, it's an unhealthy habit, and the ego says like, oh nah, but like people do worse than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that energy of like, oh, let's just say you smoke weed, and then you're like, oh, but I don't gotta stop smoking weed. Like, there's people that smoke cigarettes, right? So what? Like, what? You smoking, like, you know that this is something that is not healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing of like the denial. There's like the denial be real. The denial be real. And it's a mental thing. And I believe that the more that you practice just being honest with yourself and finding those outlets that help you. So like for instance, I really love journaling, and I really love like reading my tarot and my I Ching, because sometimes when I'm feeling like maybe a little blocked, or maybe like I'm not hearing the things that I usually hear, like as far as being like very clairaudient and getting messages. And I'm very clairsentient as well. So it's like I'll feel the messages sometimes before I hear them. But there are certain times where I don't want to follow it, or I'm just like, I'm kind of resisting it. So I'll read my I Ching, or I'll read my tarot, and it'll give me like, it's like a tool to like just connect with the energies that's happening. And I get clarity. I get a lot of clarity from it. And the thing is, it's like what you can also do is to like decipher whether you're trauma bonding with somebody or it's actually like a deep connection, is that you can start to look at the relationships in your life and like literally like have it like write that shit down, like write your name and their name, and write like, okay, why do I like this person, or why do me and this person connect? What are the commonalities? Like, you remember when we were in school and we had the Venn diagram? This one, I got a lot of shit in this book right now, but this, you remember this? This is one thing, this is one thing, this is how they connect. Draw a freaking Venn diagram of your name, their name, what's different about you, what's different about them, and then like how y'all connect. Or just write about how y'all connect, right? And see if the ways that you are connecting are actually healthy habits. So like for instance, let's make some examples. If the ways that y'all are connecting is because both of y'all like art and both of y'all like music, amazing, right? Let's say if you're connecting, which is like, those are like base level stuff, because a lot of people like art and music, right? Let's just be real. Like, and that's the thing too, you just got to be real about shit, right? You're like, okay, but we both love art and music. A lot of people do, right? That's great. But what if y'all are both connecting because both of y'all like really love health, right? And because y'all really love health, like y'all study together, right? So you were studying yourself, they were studying alone, but now y'all study together, and all of the information that y'all get is even greater, right? Let's say that they love to meditate, and you love to meditate. Now when y'all come together, y'all create these group meditations, and y'all tap in and practice y'all clear audience and y'all telepathy with each other, because these are things that both of y'all love to do. What just came to me as well is that when it comes to people deserving access, and when it comes to people that you want to grow with and build with, whether it's a romantic relationship or just friendships, it's important about the openness and the willingness, right? So first, it starts off with honesty. And when I say the openness and willingness, let's say with the Venn diagram, that one person likes to meditate and the other person maybe doesn't like to meditate, but they're interested in learning. And the person that likes to meditate, they're willing to teach the person that doesn't like to meditate, right? So there's two different versions of the story. Either the person that doesn't know how or interested in it, they allow that person to come and share it with them, and now they start to love meditation too, and now they're meditating together and they're building all of these things together. Or that person that doesn't like to meditate, or that's the person that doesn't meditate, the person tries to show them how to meditate, but this person resists. It's resistance. It's a lot of resistance there. And that becomes very draining for that person that likes to meditate, because maybe now this person that likes to meditate and meditates, when they're around that person that doesn't like to meditate and is also resisting it, now they start meditating less. Yo, you guys, I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. Like, this is true stories. Like, I keep giving y'all examples. That is my real life story, bro. Like, this is so real. So, okay. So let's talk about that. So essentially, like I said, writing down like the way that you're connecting with an individual and looking to see if the ways that y'all are connecting are actually healthy, right? Because I was just mentioning like different ways that are healthy, but what if like you start to write it down and you start to realize like, oh shit, like, this is my real story too. Oh shit, every time I'm with this person, like we talking about people, right? Every time I'm with this person, we talking about people, and we're masking it in spirituality. Oh no, we're spiritually counseling, and we're looking. No, the fuck, you're talking shit about people that don't know that you're talking shit about them, right? Like let's like say what it is. Call a cat a cat. I don't know if that's the same, but call a cat a cat. Like, stop playing. Stop trying to call him a mouse. It's a cat, right? So let's say if you, like I said, you meet somebody and you realize that like y'all always end up talking shit, and let's say that that's a trauma that you had growing up, that you always had heard people talk shit. Y'all, I'm talking about my real life, y'all. So that, let's just say that's a trauma that you had where you always heard like adults talking shit about each other, like literally, like they'll be 1 minute they in a room together and they all laughing, ha ha, da 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 da. Then one of the grown-ups leave, and then they're like, yeah, because I don't know why she's still with him, and da da da. You're like, bro, y'all was just together. Like, that's fake. What are you doing? But you get confused as a kid, and you start to think that this is normal, because literally, like, I remember, like, you know, as kids, like, we be honest as F. Like, we're always mad honest. And then all of a sudden you start to see all of these adults lying and just fronting and talking shit. And then you start to think like, oh shit, like, I guess that's how I'm supposed to be too. I guess I'm not supposed to be so honest about how I feel, because when I'm honest about how I feel, people don't be my friend no more, because they feelings is hurt. That's how it be. Like, you ever had a kid like tell you some shit that was true, but you did not want to hear that shit, and now you mad at the kid? Don't be mad at the kid. They just telling you the truth. Don't be mad at them. And you know what? We need more of that. We need more of that kid-like spirit to tell you the truth. It's like, yeah, kids can learn a little bit compassion, but at the same time, sometimes it's like, you know, what's that saying of like, you can't handle the truth? Like, yeah, sometimes we can't, but it's essential. It's essential for our growth, for our ascension, for us to face the truth no matter how hard it is. And having those children around you to tell you the truth, that's amazing. And remember also, some things are subject to like opinion or whatever, but there are certain things that are true and we do need to be honest about, right? So just talking about connecting with people through trauma is that just start to pay attention to how you're connecting with another individual, and if the ways that y'all are connecting are actually healthy or they're unhealthy. Because something that I learned is that I used to think that I could be around I used to think that I could be around people that that were like say for instance, like I know I'm a positive person, right? But these people are negative. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter that they're negative. I'm a positive person. So like their negativity is not going to impact me because I'm a positive person. But again, remember, birds of a feather flock together. Remember, energy is real. So as positive as you can be, you spend enough time in these spaces that have these negative people, that shit will start to weigh on you in ways whether you realize it or not, but it will start to weigh on you, right? It is important for us to cleanse our aura and cleanse our energies, but the shit is real at the end of the day. Like, that's why it's important for the spaces that we're in. Going back to the story that I said earlier about being in that room and being around people that look like you energetically. I'm not talking about skin color. I'm not talking about hair. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about energetically. Being in rooms with people that look like you energetically, that will change you, because now both of y'all, like what I was just saying about the example, both of y'all love to meditate. So now y'all coming together and y'all creating this whole meditation monster. I don't know, I want to use that word. y'all coming together and creating these meditations where y'all going even deeper than y'all were going individually, right? Two people that love music, because I see Beak on here, right? Two people that love music and they serious about their music. They come together, now they creating these music monsters. We got monsters today. You know, two people that love art and they both serious about their art. Now they coming through and making these artistic monsters. Now they coming through making these murals, right? Like when they was individually, they was painting canvases, but when they come together, they making murals now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whoever is adding to you, right? So it's essential that people are adding to you and that we are being mindful of who gets access to us. I got really in that spiel, but there was a few other messages I want to share, and I wrote them down because I know that I'd be doing this. But Sean, I was answering your question, and I hope that was clear. I trust that you received what you're supposed to receive, and everybody that's on here received what they're supposed to receive. I want to also share, so I've been talking a lot about like your access and like I wrote down like divine access. So remember that your access to you is very divine. So treat it as such and don't open the door for everybody. And it's essential that you are protecting your energy. And again, when you're with people that energetically look like you, then y'all can reach new heights, climb new peaks, climb new mountains, right? Because people are either lifting you up or they're putting you down. And that's what I was trying to say with my story earlier. It's like they're either lifting you up or putting you down. There's no in the middle, for sure. You're very welcome. Thank you for receiving and thank you for asking, because I love all of the questions. So I also wrote down like this a message of like saying no. And I believe saying no can be like so challenging. And it's kind of funny because I'm actually like one of the groups that I work with in schools right now. They're like 5, 6, 7 years old. So they're basically first to second grade. And when I tell you they're going through this phase of like, I ask them to do something and they're like, no. They're like, no. And I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like, why are you telling me no? Like, I'm just telling you something simple and you just want to say no. But they're just in this no phase. Like, they just want to retaliate, like this rebellion phase. And I'm like, bro, why are you saying no? Like, anyways. So what I'm saying is that we need to tap into that first, second grader energy and start saying no. When people offer us things that it could sound good, but it doesn't feel good energetically, say no. And this is something I've been like truly working on, because sometimes like in my own experience, I've been like, damn, like that word FOMO, fear of missing out. Sometimes I'm like, but this sounds like a great opportunity. If I say no, I may miss the opportunity. But guess what? It's like, if there's an energy already that you're like confused about it, then it's likely a no anyways. Because think about those things that you really want in your life. Are you confused about it? No. You're like, no, I know I want this in my life. I know I want this opportunity, and I'm gonna say yes. Like, it's an obvious yes. But facts, if it's not an obvious yes, then it's a no. Right? There's no in the middle. Again, there's no in the middle. It's a no. Sometimes we do have to like sit and meditate on it and maybe weigh out the pros and cons of something. But a lot of times, like even when that's happening, what I've realized in my own experience is that sometimes it's just like a fear, right? Like, say if you got this really dope opportunity, you like, well, should I do it? Should I do it? You know you want to do it, but it may be a little scary because it's pulling you out of your comfort zone. Is something, it's going into the unknowing rather than the knowing. You know, we always want to know some shit, and I'll like be vulnerable and just share this because I know I'm doing it regardless. So it's like right now I'm in this transitional stage where I'm really working on traveling, right? And I mean like really traveling the world like I said I was gonna do years ago. And it's like I've been traveling here and there, yes, but I mean like really like traveling, right? So, and I mean like digital nomad, like outside all of the countries, all of the places, like we just outside type shit, right? So there has been this like logical mind in spiritual mind, like kind of battle type of thing, right? Because my spiritual mind and my spiritual energy and essence knows that this is what I'm supposed to do, right? That's the thing. Sometimes we know what we're supposed to do and we have an idea on why we're supposed to do it, but we don't know the full thing until we actually do it. And then we're like, shit, like I needed this more than I thought I even needed this, right? Like that's happened to me every single time that I've traveled, where I was like, yeah, you know, for instance, like I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Africa to teach children because I just want to, you know, I want to go to Africa. But then it completely shifted my life, and I did so much healing there that I didn't even know that I was going to do all of that healing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so important for us to follow spirit. And, you know, when it comes to like the unknowingness of like, well, damn, how am I going to make a living? How am I going to find my place? How am I going to get my visa? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And it's like, you're not meant to know all of the answers right away, because a part of the journey is learning how to trust your intuition, learning how to trust that spiritual body, like that's telling you that this is the right thing for you. And I promise, like, every time that I do this and I step into this power and like divinity, that everything works out for the best, and more than just the best, like it over works out. It's kind of like, you know, I just had an experience like yesterday where I applied for this opportunity. We're talking about access, right? I applied for this opportunity. Mind you, I knew I wanted to do this opportunity. It's like a traveling opportunity. I knew I wanted to do this opportunity. But I was sitting with it for weeks. I was like procrastinating about like paying for the membership and all of this shit. Mind you, I had the money, and I'm just like, I don't know. And it was like really about a fear, right? And all of this what ifs and like fighting with the logical mind. Then my higher mind, true word, my higher mind was like, bro, just do it. Pay for the membership, apply for the opportunities, because you know that this is what you're supposed to do. Same day I applied for the opportunities. Mind you, I applied for a few opportunities, but literally same day yesterday, like I got a message like maybe like hour or two later, and was just like, yeah, we'll love to have you. And I'm sharing that because it's like sometimes like we literally be getting in the way of our own selves. We be getting in the way of what we know we're supposed to do because we're trying to find some logical reason about why we shouldn't do it, right? And let's not get caught up with that logical mind, because the logical mind is always going to try to put some worldly shit in front of you. Like, and when I say worldly shit, it's like, you're like, well, you need to have a job, you need to have this secure income, you need to have like this you need to know what it's going to be, right? And that's the thing too. It's like security. Like when I say secure income, let's talk about that. Like security lies in your knowingness that you have the capability to be abundant and make money and income, like wherever you are, doing whatever it is that your divine service is. Because the thing is, when you're in alignment with what, like, more than just what you love to do, but what's your divine service, how you're supposed to help people, you're always going to be able to find a way to make money. Like money is nothing, because you're it's coming to you because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, when you're fighting against the current, when you're fighting against those spiritual things that you know that you're led to do, then yeah, the money is going to stop. The income is going to run away from you, because you're running away from your own purpose. So if you're running away from your purpose, you're also running away from all of the financial abundance and the spiritual abundance that comes with it, right? Like, don't run away from your own kingdom. Like the only way that you're going to live the life that you truly want, like in that financial abundance, in that spiritual abundance, and just overall balance, is that you have to be open to receiving it, and you have to align with the things that align with that, right? Like, again, with the story that I told earlier, it's like you can't let these old versions of you that's sucking you dry and sucking and like, let's use the example of them taking the abundance as like those are habits, right? Like old habits that like I know when I used to smoke weed, like I used to spend a lot of money on weed, like a lot of money on weed. I swear when I stopped smoking weed, like my bank account looked different than it used to before. It's like I was working, I had money, but it was like I was consistently spending money on weed, which is just fucking unnecessary. Like it was very unnecessary how much money I was spending on weed. And now, you know, I be working on food because sometimes I be spending a lot of money on food and I'm like, what am I doing? And I mean like unnecessary, unnecessarily. Which is a part of why I'm about to go on this big cleanse because I just gotta refocus and really hone in. And that's the thing too, like doing the things that are uncomfortable so that you can really create the life that you want. I know that like a lot has been coming up for me where I'm making all of these changes and these transitions that they're scary. Like that's the truth. Like they're scary because the reason why they're scary is because it's me stepping into the unknowing. But I know in my heart and my spirit and my soul that everything is going to work out for the best because it's what I'm called to do. And even when you're doing things that's in alignment with you, it's like it's just going to have this flow, you know, like it's going to have this flow. When you're doing things that's out of alignment with you, it's going to have this resistance, like this big resistance. And it's up to us to start discerning and to start being aware of when there is flow and when there is resistance. So whatever you're experiencing within your life, think about the flow and resistance energy. Like think about that flow and the resistance. Like, is it just happening? Or is it just like it keeps being all of these blockages? So let's think about that. And definitely just starting to make choices for your higher being. I wrote down to like right now it's raining in New York. Sean, what's the weather over there? Can you tell me what's the weather in Ireland? But right now it's raining in New York, and I've been talking to some people and I realized that there's like a fog in the air, right? And I'm like, all right, this fog in the air, it's like, how do you see through fog? It's like, you got to be that light in the fog. And then more than just be that light in the fog, the message that came to me is like, you got to, if there's a fog, even if you can't see, it's like walking, even though you can't see. So the idea of following the path that you know to be right. Let's say if you're walking to the store and you know that you walk straight, then you make a right, then you make a left, and then you're at the store. So even though you see fog, don't walk straight and then you're like, well, I don't know which way to go. You do know which way to go because you feel like it's in your body, like you know which way you're supposed to go. So just make that right, make that left, even though you don't see. So the message is like trusting your spirit even in the unknowingness, trusting your spirit even in the uncomfortability, right? And yeah, that was what I wrote down. Before I came on here, I was going to also like pull a tarot card, but I had got up and a tarot card just kind of fell out. And how hilarious is that? I pulled this card on like my last live, but it's the Two of Water. And essentially the Two of Water really is connecting to like that coupling, right? So finding others, wow, this is connected to even what I was saying earlier, is like finding others that are like-minded that can help you, because this one looks like it knows how to be grounded because it's on the ground, but then this one looks like it knows how to swim. So they can help one another. One can help the other one to be grounded. The other one can help them to swim, right? So finding others that are in alignment with you so that y'all can help each other to grow and to be better, right? And water is also like emotions, right? Communication, cleansing, right? Like I was just talking about it raining, cleansing. So really cleansing yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit, and also sharing the emotions that's going on, even like with other individuals, and like creating that community between y'all. What you said wet and cold. We had a big storm last week over the whole island. Lots of trees uprooted and the tree hit a car. Oh my God. So yo, I wanna, oh my gosh, bro, I can't come through spirit. I can't make this shit up. Alright, so you just said that it's wet and cold and y'all got a big storm. Y'all had a big storm. So I'm pretty sure it's cold outside. I ain't go outside because I ain't messing with it. But it's like this overcast, this heavy energy. And you just said that a tree uprooted, right? So let's talk about that, because right now it's a lot going on where it's like things are trying to uproot, like so it's like it's about you staying grounded in who you are, and a lot of shit is like trying to unroot us. But guess what? Even if you get uprooted for a little bit, knowing that you still that tree, you still that tree, you still that tree that got that essence of literally all that you have to bring to the table, like all it is that you provide. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh my God, even like in this card, like he like, yo, I'm on the ground, and he's like, yo, I'm in the water, son. I fell in the water. Let's just say he fell. He fell in the water. So it's like, so even if shit shakes your rock, like shakes your rock, and you uproot it a little bit, you like, yo, bro, but guess what? I'm still that tree. Like, I'm still that tree. I still have so much to bring to the table. And guess what? Like, if a tree could walk, you know, then it will just, you know, just move its roots a little bit, and it'll just plant itself somewhere else. But you know what? Let's actually go back into like us being humans. So if we get uprooted, right, and something that's happening within our lives, then all we got to do is just find a new space in the dirt, in the soil, and plant ourselves again. Like literally plant ourselves again, put our roots back into the ground and start anew. And that has been the big thing, like that I was talking about, even when I read this page about the Aquarius energy, and it's talking about literally maintaining your individuality, and it says, thus break ties with anything that limits his ability to be himself. So it's just like there are certain things that has uprooted you, that try to limit you of being who you truly are and what you truly bring to the table. And it's about you replanting those roots, and even sprinkling in more seeds, because going back to what I was saying earlier is that, like, when something is for you, it will create abundance, more abundance. What I said about the story earlier, you got all these riches and golds and fabrics and gemstones and silvers and all of that. People that come in, that they got the same shit, y'all up. As soon as you let a motherfucker in that's just leeching, taking, you start to look around your room, and you like, how my shit get low like this? Like, how my abundance, like, who took my gold? Who took my gold? But guess what? You let them in, and you let them take your gold. Actually, you even gave some away. You gave some away. Where my gold go? Thinking you gave it away. Bro. I can't. I'm dead ass. Hey, Sam. Hey. Oh my God. Sending love. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. So yeah, y'all. Don't give your gold away. Like, this shit is real. Like, I can't make this stuff up. Where I'm gonna end here. Oh, I want to say this. So I've done this like astrology class, right? And in astrology class, we were looking at like each sign, and it kind of gives you like a short version of like what that sign brings, right? And for Aquarius is actually the mind healer, right? So as we're in Aquarius season, and everything I'm saying right now, So as we're in Aquarius season and we're talking about mind healing, that's what's happening like as a collective right now, is that we are healing our minds, right? Like that has been a big theme for me as of late. It's just like healing our minds, right? And when we come to healing our minds, then that's how we can again like welcome into the abundance and also be in alignment with the abundance, because you're changing your mind. The example that I had earlier of like you being in a room full of opportunity, but that lack mindset is allowing you to be like, nah, but I still got to get this. I still got to get that. It's like, think about like a hoarder or something. Like I just had seen a vision of like somebody like this, because there's like so much shit around a room, and then they still like, no, but I need more. I can't do it because I need more. And it's like, bro, look around your room. You're hoarding. Like you got so much opportunity that's just around you and you're not using it. Like use the opportunity around you. But the only way that you're going to make that shift and that change is if you change your mindset, if you change your perspective of what you see. Because even a person that, if an abundant person and an abundant mindset could be in a room and there's a fucking table, there's one table, and they're like, you know what? Like, let's say they got a table and a phone. They got a table and a phone, abundant mindset. They're like, yo, I'm about to sell I'm about to make a whole series on YouTube, sitting behind a table, talking behind a table, highlighting the table. Like they gonna use that table. Like they gonna use the table and they gonna find an income, a financial abundance and opportunity like out of that. Like this, just them just having a table. Like they gonna use that table. They gonna go outside to nature and pick some flowers and you say arrange some flowers on top of the table. Like, you know what I'm saying? Take pictures of that table. And the table gonna have their own Instagram. You know how people be having their own Instagram for their dogs? The table gonna have its own Instagram, and you gonna know that table because you're like, oh, that's shorty table. Like she always putting cool stuff on the table. Like they're gonna go outside of nature, and the whole thing is gonna be like creating these beautiful visualizations like on top of that table out of shit that you just find in nature. So they ain't had to spend no money. They just going outside, picking stuff from nature, because nature is abundant, and picking up rocks, flowers, trees, twigs, and just creating these beautiful ass arrangements on tables. And then shit, they step up their game. They taking little visualizations or taking pictures of the table. Now they coming up with poems. Now they got voiceovers over the table. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a funny girl. I'm such a funny girl. But yeah, I think I'm just I'm just going now. But yeah, so I let me end with this. I came on here today because I had some messages to share. I also wanted to share that I haven't been doing the Bubbly Love Show, which I kind of like. I meant to come on yesterday, but I had took a nap, and when I woke up, you know how like when you wake up from a nap, you still got that tired on you. So I still had that tired on me. So I was like, bro, I'm not going on live. Like I was like, I'll do it another time. So anyway, everything that I'm saying right now is always applied to me first. So when I was talking about like saying no, I feel like I have been going back and forth about the Bubbly Love Show because I love coming on here and talking and just sharing all of the messages that's coming and connecting with anybody who comes in the building, no matter how many people it is. Even if it's just me talking to myself, sometimes it's like, this is what I need at that moment. So I didn't want to let that go. But I have been feeling called to just up, like to increase. I'm gonna just use the word up, to like up what I'm doing essentially. And more than just like, I created the Patreon page, which I still didn't post videos, but now that I have my website, which is something that I've worked on for a while, on having, and just went through a lot of shit, making, but I finally did it. Now it's like, I want my website to really be the place that I put like messages, and I put, you know, live streams and videos and stuff. I still got to figure out how to stream on my website. I mean, I kind of have an idea, but I got to figure that out. But what I'm saying is that I am working on creating like my website to be the page that if you want to see anything bubbles that's like personal like this, like me telling my life story and like really sharing with y'all like details. It's like I do my best here to like still try to keep certain things a little private, but the truth is that I do like privacy, but at the same time, like I believe that sharing your own story like is what will help empower people. And I believe there's so many people walking around just trying to hide shit and just trying to keep everything in secrecy, right? I believe secrecy and private is different. And there are certain things like, yeah, you can keep to yourself, but to be honest with y'all, like I have this spirit, like this energy where I'm like, I want to tell it all. I want to share it all. And just because it's also helpful to me to release any type of shame that I may feel. Like sometimes we don't want to say certain things because we may feel like a shame energy towards it, or like embarrassment of like, oh, well, what would this person think of me if they know that I felt like this, or if they know that I've been through this, or if they know that I've done this. And it's like I've been working on like releasing shame because it's also connected to like releasing expectation and the idea of being perfect, and knowing that I'm human and that I can feel emotions and I don't have to be those emotions. Like I am not my emotions. They are just things that pass through me, and they're valid in whatever way, shape, or form. They're valid. And the more that we can be honest in that way and share these things is how we break through the trauma. It's like that's how we break through the trauma. And I'm literally like, I knew this before I did my own reading, but even like it was amazing to be confirmed in the reading that I do, the deep reading with, you know, all the signs and astrology. And like literally my, like a big part of like my mission here on this earth is to literally heal trauma. So in order for me to help others heal traumas, like I got to heal trauma within myself. So I find that one of your biggest traumas is like what you're supposed to be doing. So it's like I've had so much trauma that I've broke through. So now it's like about helping others break through those traumas and continuously breaking through traumas, because what I've realized in life is that you're still going to have, like, you're going to have consistent trauma happen in your life. So even if you dealt with like some of your childhood trauma, you're going to deal with trauma as an adult, right? I realized that when I would go through a new situation, and now when I go through something similar or that looks similar, now I'm like, shit, I don't even know if I want to fuck with that, because I feel like this feels familiar. This feels like way too familiar, you know? And what I've realized is that it's like about us facing it and about us being honest about it, and really just having conversations that we need to have so that we can get clarity on how we're feeling. So I'm saying all of that because, again, bubblesthecreative.com, like I want to put my stuff there more than here, and use Instagram as just a way of like showcasing the work that I'm doing, like as far as my music and my youth development and my events and, you know, all the fun stuff that I'm doing. But I want my website to be like the number one. So saying all that to say is that the Bubbly Love Show has not ended, but it has rebirth. It's going through a rebirth and a retransformation, just like the snake. I'm gonna just come on here at random times like this, like when I feel called to say a message. But I'm gonna start putting like deeper messages like on my actual website. And it's like, if you want to check out deeper things from me, then you can visit my website, you know. Outside of that, I have a show tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. 45-minute set at the Delancey, 5:30 p.m. Really excited. I have so much to share, and I've been feeling like a lot of the blockages that I kind of like had created from some of the things that I've been going through has really they've broken down, and I'm so grateful in the space that I'm in right now because I feel so free. I feel so light. I feel so me, and I feel so like unstoppable. I feel so unstoppable, and I'm really tapping into my Aries energy of like a what? Like you can't stop me like a ram. I'm like I'm unstoppable. That's the word. I'm like I feel so unstoppable right now, and I am. And yeah, like so that's the energy I'm in. That's the mood. That's the vibes. Come through, see my show if you're in another country. Then I'll share skits. I'll share some stuff from the show. And yeah, I think that's all my time. So I thank everyone that came on here and shared and listened and vibed out. Anybody that may see it later, but this is probably going to be one of the last shows like this for a while, unless you visit bubblesthecreative.com. So it's been real. Shout out to the Bubbly Love Show. Shout out to all of the guests. And, we just growing from here. And yeah, I bubbly love you. Remember that you can always hit me up for your Bubbly Love astrology readings, tarot readings, I Ching readings. I'm going to start doing like holistic wellness, like counsel, because I want to help people when it comes to like their body and herbalism and learning their body and like how they can create live it instead of diet, right? How they can just create like a healthy lifestyle when it comes to what you consume. So I'd like to start that, and I'd like to play around with it. So just let me know if you're interested. I don't have like a price on that right now because I'm still building it. So if you want to be, some of the first people to check it out, or, we just like have a consultation, let me know. Other than that, what else? I got a lot of shows coming up, and I'm like going to Boston. I got another show in March. Yeah, so we outside. So I bubbly love you so much. Thank you so much for just being you, and remember that not everybody deserves access. Okay? All right, bubbly love you. See you next time. Peace.